Act 1, Scene 4 of Faust Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 1, Scene 4. Pleasure Garden, the morning sun. The Emperor, his court, gentlemen and ladies. Faust Mephistopheles, becomingly according to the mode, not showingly dressed. Both kneel.
Sire, pardon'st thou the jugglery of flame?
Emperor, beckoning him to rise.
I wish more exhibitions of the same. A sudden stood I in a glowing sphere. It almost seemed as if I Pluto were. There lay, like night with little fires besprent, a rocky bottom, out of many a vent. Whirling, 1,000 savage flames ascended, till in a single vault their streamers blended. The tongues even to their highest dome were shot. That ever was, and ever then was not. Through the far space of spiral shafts of flame, the long processions of people came, crowding till all the circle was o'errun. They did me homage as they've ever done. Some from my court I knew, to speak with candour, a prince I seemed o'er many a salamander.
That art thou, sire, because each element fully accepts thy majesty's intent. Obedient fire is tested now by thee, where wildest heaving leap into the sea, and scarce the pearly floor thy foot shall tread. A grand rotunda rises o'er thy head. Thou seest the green, translucent billows swelling with purple edge, for thy delightful dwelling. Round thee the central point. Walk thou at will, the liquid palaces go with thee still. The very walls rejoice in life, disporting in arrowy flight, in chasing and consorting. See marvels crowd around the glory new and fair, shoot from all sides, yet none can enter there. There gorgeous dragons, golden armoured, float. There gapes the shark, thou laughest in his throat. However much this court thy pride may please, yet hast thou never seen such throngs as these. Nor from the loveliest shalt thou long be parted. The curious Nereids come, the wild, shy-hearted, to thy bright dwelling in the endless waters, timid and sly as fish the youngest daughters, the elder cunning. Thetis hears the news, and will at once her second Peleus choose, the seat then on Olympus high and free.
The spaces of the air I leave to thee. One all too early must ascend that throne.
And earth, high prince, already is thine own.
What fortune brought thee here for our delights, directly from the 1,000 knights? If thou, like Scheherazade, art rich in stories, my favour shall ensure thee higher glories. Be ready always, when your world of day, as often haps, disgust me every way.
Lord High Steward enters hastily.
Highness serene, I never dared expect to trumpet forth a fortune so select, and this supremely blessing me, which I announce with joy to thee. Reckoning on reckonings balanced squarely, the usurer's claws are blunted rarely. I'm from my hellish worry free, things can't in heaven more cheerful be.
General-in-Chief follows hastily.
Arrears of pay are settled duly, the army is enlisted newly. The troopers' blood is all alive, the landlords and the wenches thrive.
How breathe your breasts in broader spaces, how cheerful are your furrowed faces, how ye advance with nimble speed.
Treasurer appearing.
Ask these, 'tis they have done the deed.
It is the Chancellor's place, the matter to present.
Chancellor, who comes forward slowly.
In my old days I'm blessed and most content. So hear and see the fortune-freighted leaf, which has transformed to happiness our grief.
He reads.
To all to whom this cometh, be it known, 1,000 crowns in worth this note doth own. it too secure, as certain pledge, shall stand all buried treasure in the emperor's land. And 'tis decreed, perfecting thus the scheme, the treasure, soon as raised, shall this redeem.
A most enormous cheat, a crime, I fear. Who forged the emperor's sign manual here? Has there not been a punishment condign?
Remember, thou the note didst undersign. Last night, indeed, thou stoodst as mighty Pan, and thus the Chancellor's speech before thee ran. Grant to thyself the festal pleasure, then the people's good, a few strokes of the pen. These didst thou give, they were, ere night retreated, by skilful conjurers thousandfold repeated. And that a like advantage all might claim, we stamped at once the series with thy name. 10s, 30s, 50s, hundreds are prepared. Thou canst not think how well the folk have fared. Behold thy town, half dead once, and decaying, how all alive, enjoying life, are straying. Although thy name long since the world made glad, such currency as now it never had. No longer needs the alphabet thy nation, for in this sign each findeth his salvation.
And with my people does it pass for gold? For pay in court and camp, the notes they hold? Then I must yield, although the thing's amazing.
'Twas scattered everywhere, like wildfire blazing, as currency, and none its course may stop. A crowd surrounds each money-changer's shop, and every note is there accepted duly for gold and silver's worth, with discount truly. Thence is it spread to landlords, butchers, bakers. One half the people feast as pleasure-takers. In raiment new the others proudly go. The tradesmen cut their cloth, the tailors sew. The crowd the emperor's health in cellars wishes, midst cooking, roasting, rattling of the dishes.
If one along the lonely terrace stray, he sees the lady in superb array, with brilliant peacock fan before one eye, a note she looks for as she simpers by. And readier than by wit or eloquence, before love's favour falls the last defence. One is not plagued his purse or sack to carry, such notes one lightly in his bosom bears, or them with fond epistles neatly pairs. The priest devoutly in his breviary bears his, the soldier would more freely trip, and lightens thus the girdle round his hip. Your Majesty will pardon if my carriage seems as it might the lofty work disparage.
The overplus of wealth in torpor bound, which in thy lands lies buried in the ground, is all unused, nor boldest thought can measure the narrowest boundaries of such a treasure. Imagination, in its highest flight, exerts itself but cannot grasp it quite. Yet minds that dare explore this secret soundless, in boundless things possess a faith that's boundless.
Such paper, stead of gold and jewellery, so handy is. One knows one's property. One has no need of bargains or exchanges, but drinks of love or wine as fancy ranges. If one needs coin, the brokers ready stand, and if it fail, one digs awhile the land. Goblet and chain one then at auction sells, and paper, liquidated thus, compels the shame of doubters and their scornful wit. The people wish naught else, they're used to it. From this time forth your borders far and wide with jewels, gold, and paper are supplied.
You've given our empire this prosperity. The pay then equal to the service be. The soil entrusted to your keeping, shall you the best custodians be, to guard its value. You know the hoards, well kept of all the land, and when men dig, 'tis you that must give command. Unite then now, ye masters of our treasure, this your new dignity to wear with pleasure, and bring the upper world erewhile asunder, in happiest conjunction with the under.
No further strife shall shake our joint position. I like to have as partner the magician.
Exit with Faust.
Man after man, the court I will endow. Let each confess for what he'll spend and how.
Page receiving.
I'll lead a jolly life, enjoy good cheer.
A second page, the same.
I'll buy at once some trinkets for my dear.
Chamberlain accepting.
Wine's twice as good shall down my throat go trickling.
A second chamberlain, the same.
I feel the dice within my pockets tickling.
Knight Banneret reflectively.
My lands and castle shall be free of debt.
Second Knight Banneret, the same.
I'll add 2 other wells, the wells I get.
I'd hoped the gifts to bolder deeds would beckon, but he who knows you knows whereupon to reckon. I see that in spite of all this treasure burst, you stay exactly as you were at first.
Fool approaching.
You scatter favors. Grant me also some.
Thou'rt come to life, it would go at once for rum.
The magic leaves I don't quite comprehend.
That I believe, for them thou wilt badly spend.
There others drop, I don't know what to do.
Just pick them up, they fall to thy share too.
Exit.
5,000 crowns are mine, how unexpected.
2-legged wineskin, art thou resurrected?
Much luck I've had, but like this never yet.
Thou'lt so rejoiced it puts thee in a sweat.
But look at this, is't money's worth indeed?
'Twill bring thee what thy throat and belly need.
And cattle can I buy, and house and land.
Of course, just make an offer once, offhand.
Castle and wood, and chase and fishing?
All I'd like upon your worship then to call.
To-night as landed owner I shall sit.
Exit. Mephistopheles, solus.
Who now will doubt that this our fool has wit?
End of Act 1, Scene 4. Act 1, Scene 5 of Faust Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 1, Scene 5. A gloomy gallery. Faust, Mephistopheles.
What wilt thou with me in this gloomy gallery? Is there not still enough of sport there in the crowded motley court? Not chance for tricks and fun and raillery?
Don't tell me that. In our old days the fun of it didst thou wear out, and I'll have none of it. Thy wandering here and there is planned, just to evade what I demand. But I'm tormented something to obtain. The marshal drives me, and the chamberlain. The emperor orders he will instantly Helen and Paris here before him see. The model forms of man and woman wearing, distinctly shown, their ancient shape and bearings. Now to the work, I dare not break my word.
So thoughtlessly to promise was absurd.
Thou hast not, comrade, well reflected what comes of having used thy powers. We've made him rich, 'tis now expected that we amuse his idle hours.
Thou deem'st the thing is quickly fixed. Here before steeple ways we're standing. With stranger spheres wouldst thou be mixed, and sinful, addest new debts to the old. Think'st Helen will respond to thy commanding as freely as the paper ghosts of gold? With witches' riches, and with spectre pictures, and changeling dwarfs, I'll give no cause for strictures. But devils' darlings, though you may not scold 'em, you cannot quite as heroines behold 'em.
The old hand organ still I hear thee play. From thee one always gets uncertain sense. The father, thou, of all impediments, for every means thou askest added pay. A little muttering, and the thing takes place. Ere one can turn, beside us, here her shade is.
I've no concern with the old heathen race. They house within their special Hades. Yet there's a way.
Speak. nor delay thy history.
Unwilling, I reveal a loftier mystery. In solitude are throned the goddesses, no space around them, place and time still less, only to speak of them embarrasses. They are the mothers.
Faust, terrified.
Mothers?
Hast thou dread?
The mothers! Mothers! A strange word is said.
It is so. Goddesses, unknown to ye, the mortals, named by us unwillingly. Delve in the deepest depths must thou to reach them. 'Tis thine own fault that we for help beseech them.
Where is the way?
No way. To the unreachable, ne'er to be trodden. A way to the unbeseechable, never to be besought. Art thou prepared? There are no locks, no latches to be lifted. Through endless solitudes shalt thou be drifted. Hast thou through solitudes and deserts fared?
I think 'twere best to spare such speeches. They smell too strongly of the witches, of cheats that long ago ensnared. Have I not known all earthly vanities, learned the inane and taught inanities, when as I felt I spake with sense as guide, the contradiction doubly shrill replied, enforced by odious tricks have I not fled to solitudes and wilderness dread, and that I might not live alone unheeded, myself at last unto the devil deeded.
And hadst thou swum to farthest verge of ocean, and there the boundless space beheld, still hadst thou seen wave after wave in motion, even though impending doom they fear compelled. Thou hadst seen something. In the beryl dim of peace-lulled seas the sport of dolphins swim, hadst seen the flying clouds, sun, moon, and star. Nought shalt thou see in endless void afar. Not hear thy footstep fall, nor meet a stable spot to rest thy feet.
Thou speak'st as of all mystagogues the chief, who e'er brought faithful neophytes to grief. Only reversed, I to the void am sent, that art and power therein I may augment. To use me like the cat is thy desire, to scratch for thee the chestnuts from the fire. Come on then, well explore, whatever befall, in this thy nothing may I find my all.
I'll praise thee ere we separate. I see thou knowest the devil thoroughly. Here, take this key.
That little thing?
Take hold of it, not undervaluing.
It glows, it shines, increases in my hand.
How much 'tis worth thou shalt soon understand. The key will scent the true place from all others. Follow it down, 'twill lead thee to the mothers.
Faust, shuddering.
The mothers! Like a blow it strikes me still. What is the word, to hear which makes me chill?
Art thou so weak, disturbed by each new word? Wilt only hear what thou'st already heard? To wondrous things art thou so used already? Let naught, howe'er it sound, make thee unsteady.
Nathless in torpor lies no good for me. The chill of dread is man's best quality. Though from the feeling oft the world may fend us, deeply we feel, once smitten, the tremendous.
Descend then. I would also say, ascend. 'Twere all the same. Escape from the created to shapeless forms in liberated spaces. Enjoy what long ere this was dissipated. There whirls the press, like clouds on clouds unfolding, then with stretched arm swing high the key thou'rt holding.
Faust, inspired.
Good! Grasping firmly, fresher strength I win. My breast expands, let the great work begin.
At last a blazing tripod tells thee this, that there the utterly deepest bottom is. Its light to thee will then the mothers show. Some in their seats, the others stand or go, at their own will. Formation, transformation, the eternal mind's eternal recreation, forms of all creatures, there are floating free. They'll see thee not, for only wraiths they see. So pluck up heart, The danger then is great. Go to the tripod ere thou hesitate, and touch it with the key.
Faust, with the key, assumes a decidedly commanding attitude, Mephistopheles observing him.
So that is right. It will adhere and follow thee to light. Composedly mounting, by thy luck upborne, before they notice it shalt thou return, when thou the tripod hither hast conveyed. Then call the hero, heroine from the shade, the first that ever such a deed perfected. 'Tis done, and thou thereto hast been selected. For instantly, by magic process warmed, to gods the incense mist must be transformed.
What further now?
Downward thy being strain, stamp, and descend, stamping thou'lt rise again.
Faust stamps and sinks out of sight.
If only by the key he something learn, I'm curious to see if he return.
End of Act 1, Scene 5. Act 1, Scene 6 of Faust Part 2 by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Translated by Bayard Taylor. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 1, Scene 6. Brilliantly lighted halls. Emperor and Princess. The court in movement. Chamberlain to Mephistopheles.
The spirit's seen you've promised, still you owe us. Our lord's impatient, come, the phantasm show us.
Lord High Steward.
Just now his gracious self did question me. Delay not, nor offend his majesty.
My comrade's gone to set the work in motion. How to begin he has the proper notion. In secret he the charms must cull, must labour with a fervour tragic. Who would that treasure lift, the beautiful, requires the highest art, the sage's magic.
What arts you need is all the same to me. The emperor wills that you should ready be.
A blonde to Mephistopheles.
One word, sir. Here you see a visage fair. In sorry summer I another wear. There sprout 100 brown and reddish freckles, and vex my lily skin with ugly speckles. A cure.
'Tis pity, shining fair, yet smitten, spotted when May comes like a panther kitten. Take frog spawn, tongues of toads, which cohobate, under the full moon deftly distillate, and when it wanes apply the mixture. Next spring the spots will be no more a fixture.
A brunette.
To sponge upon you, what a crowd's advancing! I beg a remedy. A frozen foot annoys me much, in walking as in dancing, and awkwardly I manage to salute.
A gentle kick permit then from my foot.
Well, that might happen, when the two are lovers.
My kick a more important meaning covers. Similia similibus, when one is sick, the foot cures foot, each limb its hurt can palliate. Come near, take heed, and pray you don't retaliate.
The brunette, screaming.
Ow! Oh, it stings! That was a fearful kick, like hoof of horse.
But it has cured you, quick. To dance where'er you please, you now are able to press your lover's foot beneath the table.
Lady, pressing forwards.
Make room for me, too great is my affliction, my tortures worse than those described in fiction. His bliss till yesterday was in my glances, but how he turns his back and spins with her romances.
The matter's grave, but listen unto me. Draw near to him with gentle soft advances, then take this call and mark him stealthily on mantle, shoulder, sleeve. Though ne'er so slight, yet penitent at once his heart will be. The call thereafter you must straightway swallow, and let no sip of wine or water follow. he'll sigh before your door this very night.
It is not poison, sure?
Mephistopheles, offended.
Respect where it is due. To get such coals you'd travel many a mile. There from the embers of a funeral pile, the fires whereof we once more hotly blew.
Page.
I love, yet still am counted adolescent.
Mephistopheles, aside.
I know not whom to listen to at present.
To the page.
Let not the younger girls thy fancies fetter, those well in years know how to prize thee better.
Others crowd around him.
Already others? 'Tis a trial, sooth. I'll help myself at last, with naked truth, the worst device. So great my misery. Mothers, mothers, let but Faust go free.
Gazing around him.
The lights are burning dimly in the hall, the court is moving onward, one and all. I see them march, according to degrees, through long arcades and distant galleries. Now they assemble in the ample space of the knight's hall, yet hardly all find place. The breadth of walls is hung with arras rich, and armour gleams from every nook and niche. Here, I should think, there needs no magic word. The ghost will come, and of their own accord.
End of Act 1, Scene